Today's episode will cover interviews, bringing on guests to comment on productivity. So, for some time now, I've been working on these productivity episodes and I haven't reached out to anyone to comment on how they live their lifestyle around productivity. I aim to reach out to artists, software devs, writers, and more on how they manage to get their projects done on time. Everyone has a different story on productivity. This podcast is the journey that fulfills my focus around projects. It's also made for community members to seek out tools in productivity, whether this may be the members on a forum, Kanban boards, or stopwatch timers. It helps to know when you can reach out to these tools anytime. There's no denying how much of a good story I'd like to hear from these guests on this show. Here are a few takes on interviews for this channel. Timeline. I'm considering in starting podcasts on interviews with guest members early January 2021. Topics similar to these episodes. I'd like to carry them out in a casual conversation and, bounce ideas back and forth. And there's also considering new equipment. So I'm not exactly sure what kind of platform will be used in this scenario. Possibly Zoom, and sometimes in person, which is what I meant by sometimes live, if someone's in town. Regarding interviews, I really can't wait for just reaching out to somebody, starting an episode based around that, and this is also influenced by other podcasters as well, namely Joe Rogan. I've seen some of his podcasts, and he has these hour-long interviews with guest members that come onto his show, and they cover up a couple of topics here and there. Of course, when it comes down to topics, it will be similar to these episodes in terms of Kanban board, teamwork, workflow. There's other ideas out there as well. Problems, how they manage to resolve their problems, building up habits, possibly how they got started, their background, especially their background, because you'd be able to see from the very beginning when they thought about, okay, I want to start getting into music, and I started publishing an episode here and there. And I reached out to some of my friends to see if they wanted to join in as well, as some people had influenced me to get started. And I'm sure that there's also lots of opportunities that have been posted out there, and he or she had managed to just select them right off the bat. Now, new equipment, that is still in work. I'm currently using these AirPods, and to me it seems easy enough to just to talk through this. And I've seen other podcasters create their shows differently. They'll have some headphones in just to see if their audio is working okay. And actually, this is a very good fail-safe method, because you're able to stop the show as soon as there's a problem going on. Let's say that you don't hear anything coming from your headphone. Then you have to do an audio check. You have to troubleshoot just for a moment, and then you can resume. And so in situations like these, it's very important to understand that your setup relies on your setup, and the time that you've worked on this episode is important. You definitely don't want to lose that episode, so you want to make sure that audio and your microphone, at this time it's from my AirPods is important to have in conjunction to preserving your content, preserving the content, the interview that you've had with your guest, and also put their name out there as well. Zoom is also another possibility. There's no doubt that that teachers have used this platform and they have no problem whatsoever in using Zoom. So we'll see. Until next time.